All right, friends. Welcome to another episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
Hey, Jason, what are you thinking about today?
Hey, it was Father's Day this past weekend, and I was at the ballpark. It was
Oh,
awesome. But
well,
I saw some things there, Brian. I saw some stuff.
now, is that really a great Father's Day, or is it maybe I don't know, maybe it's, there's a disguise there. What's going on? Is it really great or not great on
Well,
Father's Day?
first of all, I'm a baseball fan. So Father's Day is great with, if you have kids and can enjoy them here close or whatever. But being at the ballpark is always a good thing.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
I agree on that.
I saw two different things though, Brian. Um, the Rockies were giving out this cool swag. It was a cool Hawaiian shirt. So you had a lot of people wearing the shirt.
Right,
And that was
that's
very
nice.
fun. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
I sent you a picture of just a bunch of people
Right.
wearing it. It was just kind of fun. But I saw a couple things. I saw dads on their own with their buddies or even just single going, yeah,
Yeah.
freedom. I can go around,
Woo!
just chilling.
Right.
Then I saw some dads, with three kids, two kids, and there's kids that are really not into the game.
Right. Right.
And yes, they're with the kids and stuff, but toward the end when there's action going on, the kids are like, I'm done. I've been here 3 hours. There's been
Hmm.
no action in this game except the last part. It was just kind of funny to see, uh, especially next to me, when I was down by home plate. Cause what I like to do sometimes, Brian, is I go to the game and then I like to finish up by home plate wherever I'm sitting, just kind of go down and catch that vibe. Coors Field is very nice that way. You can go
Right.
down and do that.
Right.
And that's when I saw, some different setups. But obviously at the ballpark with your kids, yes, that's a great day. But
Well, I
there's
think,
there's the various levels of it, maybe.
well, I've experienced that in the past too. Like, hey, let's go to Coors for Father's Day. Now, I think it's relative to the age of the kid, how great of experience it is. If you show up and you got a 2-year-old, that's a little different experience, but the kid's not begging for $14 cotton candy, right?
Right.
But then, but then you show up on Father's Day and they're 5 or 6 or 8 and they just don't have the stamina to hang. That could be a problem, that
Yeah.
kind of issue. And then it depends a little bit on the weather too, if it's hot or whatever, and you're just getting baked. But then you start getting into the teen years. That could be good or bad if they know how to watch a game and have been learned to watch a game. It's a great experience. Or you just give them cash and they run around the stadium for 3 hours. So there's that. And then now you have adult children, and they actually took you to Father's Day with the
They
tickets.
did.
So totally different experience than when they were like 5, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
but you do have to put in your dues. This would be anything. This could be motocross. This could be
Oh,
movies.
right.
This could be,
Just
playing golf.
vacation.
Yeah.
I
Like I'm picking baseball, but yes, all that is different with the kids. And
right.
I'm trying to think if I've ever done something just by myself, kind of like, well, here, go ahead. I'm not
Oh,
really a
on Father's
golfer.
Day,
I'm
right?
not a golfer. That's the typical. Here,
Right,
go.
right.
What about you? I'm trying to think in the past. Anything like, well, go enjoy this. Has it always
I
been with the kids if they're there?
yeah, to a certain age, and then they get those late teens, and it's like they're busy, so that's maybe a little different. But I'm trying to think too, as far as I don't think I've ever done anything on Father's Day except now, having adult kids. Yeah, you do whatever you want, but back then it was always like, you know, they always loved making you breakfast, the questionable kid breakfast, right? You remember all those years? Like, hey, we're
Mm.
making dad pancakes. Hey, and you love that part. That part's great. Um, Going to the ballpark and having your wife abandon you with the kids, I don't know if that's really a Father's Day treat or not. That's up for debate. So.
Right. Yes. Well, once again, at the beginning, it's awesome. beginning
Right.
of the game, it's like, this is sick. Everyone's like into it. They got
Right.
that
If games
crazy.
only lasted 3 innings, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But like I said, I saw some at the end. It was a little chore, guys.
I've seen dads on those days, and it always reminds me of the Jim Gaffigan stand-up comedy special where he talks about everyone loves vacations besides dads.
Why is Dad always in a bad mood?
Why is right? Why is always dad? Because he's thinking about the money. Everything's expensive. Everyone becomes needy and wants something, and yeah. So I always think of that. It's like there's some dads that know how to roll with the punches and they can handle any problem, and then there's the dad who's just suffering all day. It's just in hell. In hell.
Now, once again, depending on what you're doing, this could be anything, but in our case, we're talking a baseball game. The game was okay, and then we did lose, but at the end there was some action.
Right.
But then the very next day, they're playing Boston, and all kinds of excitement. Kind of tough games. Rockies were down, and they came back from a 2-zip deficit in the ninth for a walk-off triple, and it was like sick.
Right.
It was like, oh, that'd be sick to be there with that. I've been that with your kids and my friends, just everyone. That's just like, woo.
I know you always hope for that game on the Father's Day game, right? But,
yes.
But it didn't happen. It happened the day after.
Yeah, right.
Right. But that's all right. I mean, hey, man, anytime your kids, I know they're older, but still, hey, Dad, let's take you to the game. That's got to feel pretty cool, right?
Oh, yeah, surprise. Yep, Kate got the tickets in February.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa. Now that's forward thinking.
She really planned that sucker. So
wow.
It was awesome.
That's amazing. That's great. Well, yeah, and then as an adult now who, I have a son who has a son, so me being a grandparent. So now the Father's Day thing goes both ways. It's like, I have to call, hey, happy Father's Day. And then you're at this crossroads of, am I supposed to send a card? Am I supposed to send something? Do I get a gift for my son now that he's a father? What's the protocol? And so I called him and said, well, I have a gift for you, but it's late. And he said the same thing. He goes, well, I have something for you, but I haven't mailed it yet. And I'm like, well, there we go. So father, like son.
That ground. Yeah,
right.
You're breaking that ground. I'm following your example.
Right. So Father, and then there's Father's Day, Grandparent Day. No, I think that's a separate day. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm always on the fence with these kind of holidays, It's like, hey, let's buy 8, remember it used to have cards for like 50 cents or $1.
Yep.
Now you're like, oh, that's a cool card. And you're like, whoa, $9 for a card. Just the card, You're like,
right.
wow, what's going on here? And, I always feel like, it's like I'm being sold to like, oh, you're not a good father if you don't do this, and so
just steal something from Gaffigan, picking up a card. That's something I'd say.
Right. That's something I'd say. Right.
I'm good at sending my mom some things, but I'm not always good at sending a card.
Right.
To her at times, and that's got me in some hot water, buddy. That is,
yeah.
My mom wants the card, so.
Yeah, I've tried the digital card with, say, older people. They don't like it. They don't appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Right. It's a chore, Brian.
Right. They like getting it in the mail. They like the handwritten part. Yeah, so we've been told by, say, a number of our seniors.
Really? They just tell you that?
Oh, yeah, just like, we don't really like those e-cards. I'm like, dang it. I was saving money there because I can do a subscription for like 30-some bucks a year.
I got one.
Versus now I got to go to the store, and then I got to stand there and find something that looks like you said, like something I would say. And then I got to sit down, write something. Then I got to put a stamp on it. I guess maybe it's the thought that counts. So me doing extra labor seems to be what people want, I guess, when it comes to cards and gifts. I don't know. So it's a thing. I just
Yes.
appreciate someone saying, "Hey, happy Father's Day." To me, that's just as good as
Yep.
getting anything,
Yep.
right? I love that. A simple phone call, Jason. I think that's the greatest gift at all from your kids, that they still remember you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
Well,
so
in this day and age of texting, but that's a whole nother podcast.
right, right. Yeah, see a text, I mean, I appreciate it's low effort, right? The call's nice. Now I have to give my daughter some graces because she's out of the country right now. It's a lot of time difference.
Yeah.
So, but she still was on it. It came in with some cool photos at like 4 a.m. on Father's
Sick.
Day. I'm
Sick.
like,
That
that's
still
cool. I
counts.
love that
Yeah.
part of Italy. Yeah. And so she's traveling but I have to say, this came in. She totally scored this year. I
Oh,
got
what
a
happened?
Ballparks past and present coffee table book, leather bound coffee table book on, she must have listened to one of our previous podcasts on Ballparks.
Mm.
Um, and her and Matt, her boyfriend. And so I got a super cool, book here on, stadiums that were built way back when. They tore them down. They put something else in place. It's a pretty comprehensive, book on ballparks, and it's with leather. So she had texted me and said, "Hey, this is coming in. It'll be from this company. Watch for it."
Don't throw it away.
Yep.
What? Trash.
So it came in a couple of days ahead of time. I'm like, now that's okay. Not only did it come before Father's Day, but it's a sweet personalized gift. I'm like, okay, she scored extra points this year. So that's pretty nice. So
I would
I
think
love
we're
that.
easy.
Right.
Everyone knows we like baseball. People say, "Oh, you're kind of hard to get for." I'm like, "What? Anything
What?
Rockies, any baseball
Right.
thing
Like,
doesn't
I
matter."
think dudes in general are easy. That's just me. But,
Well, we are dudes, so
right, that's probably the bias right there. But yeah, like, I love bikes and baseball. And I have a workshop. I mean, you can get me a screwdriver. I don't care.
right.
And, I love that stuff. So yeah, I'm not really that hard to shop for. I don't think, but maybe to
That's a
someone
score,
else,
dude.
maybe someone else thinks like, that, well, I don't want to get something cheesy. How many baseballs do they need, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Now, to
I don't know.
tease past and future podcasts real quick, Joss's book, what did that spark you on ones you want to go to on a possible future Father's Day or just excursion? Did it hint to any ones that you already want to go? Did it increase it or what?
Well, this book it has so much history in it. And what's interesting is, it actually has ballparks in other countries. So, for example,
Mm,
um, there is the Tokyo Dome. Now, I've been to, I forget the name of the other stadium in Tokyo. I went and saw the Swallows play in Japan, but I didn't go see the other team that plays in the Tokyo Dome. That made the book here. So I think that's pretty cool.
that is.
Um, and then, you and I talked a little bit about Toronto, and so that made
Mm,
the book, but then it had, Mexico, go to Monterrey Baseball Stadium in Mexico. And yeah, so it went international. And then what it has a section at the back of the book where you actually check off the stadiums that you visited. It's a bucket list. So that's pretty cool. So it's a little
nice.
pull out at the back. And, and then what's interesting with it is it tells you all the previous stadiums on the list. So for example, you and I want to go see Pittsburgh Pirates, right, at PNC
Yep.
Park. Well, prior to that was Three Rivers Stadium. And prior to that was Greenleaf Field. And prior to that was Forbes Field. So it shows all the
Mm.
historical parks previous to the current park. So,
Does it say where they were from, where they were at located
uh,
ish?
not on this, well, a little bit on this list. Like it
Or at
gives
least
like,
just gives you the name that you know. So
Right,
you can look it up.
like that green leaf field I just said. It says historical marker at Bedford Avenue and Wanilla Street. So a lot
There
of
you
these
go.
stadiums are gone, right?
Yeah, because
Because
communities.
they've been bulldozed and built over the top or moved. So yeah. So someday when we're actually together and in the same room, man, we'll crack the book out and it makes me appreciate going to stadiums even more, just kind of knowing the back history of how this current stadium got to where it's at. So yeah.
Baseball and Father's Day. I got to tell you, that's somewhat synonymous. Of course, they worked hard to make that. Side note, I'm amazed. Rockies must have to pay. I don't know what they do, but they almost always have a Father's Day game. Pittsburgh didn't have a Father's Day game. It's like, how is that scheduled? Do they have to pay some extra scratch, Brian, to make sure that they get that game? I do not
I,
know.
I think here's my theory on this, why Father's Day is always at Coors Field. They never have opening day the first day of baseball at Coors Field. You notice
Ah,
it's
yes. So,
always the second week on the calendar or the second
mm,
rotation. So
yes.
it's like the Rockies always start on the road.
You get
Uh,
one or the other, and then you just hold
right.
on to it.
Well,
That's right.
I don't know if those two are the ones, like
Dude, I might look that up. I might do some
Father's
homework.
Day and opening day are,
Big
the,
is big.
the pinnacle, or is there other dynamics? But,
Well,
I don't
that and well, that also the fireworks game that I think switches. Sometimes they don't have it. This year they do. If they don't, they still do it like on the second and third,
know. Right,
or first
right,
and
right,
second.
right.
That alternates, I
Sure,
believe. But
right.
man, I gotta swear, they always have the Father's Day game. But you're right, they never have
They never,
a
right.
brand, the first
No.
day game at course. No. Yep.
If they did, I don't remember. So,
I kind of
yeah.
remember that too. No.
So, but anyway, hey, what's your most memorable Father's Day? Maybe even at Coors Field.
It was at Coors Field circa 10 years ago, Brian. I'm sitting there. We're in the bleachers sitting out there, in the center field. Me and my wife had a conversation on me not wearing Birkenstocks, but I wore Birkenstocks when I went there. I had the hat, everything, had the family. I'll never forget the promotions person walking up with a little guy, and they were looking at people, looking at people. She looks at me, sees me with the family, with the hat. Then she looks down and sees that I am not wearing shoes because you have to run and get the base,
Right.
get
They
the
were looking
base
for
and run
someone to
back.
do the bases. Right.
Yes, they're looking
Right.
for someone to base. Now, I was at the game. It was awesome. It's more just a funny story, but I'm like, darn it. I was so close to running the base, but that is one of my most favorite Father's Day because it's a great story. What about you?
Well, they picked what? The person down, just like
Real
what
close
next
to
to you?
me. No,
Right.
dude,
Like
like
right
the
next to
guy
you.
below me had
Oh,
pads, but he had shoes.
but
I
he
was
hit
like,
you.
yeah. And he just looked at me and said, yep.
Now that's funny. Now that's funny. So look,
It's very
man,
memorable.
I'm glad you're laughing about it because some people would be like, God, I'm never going to touch the field of Coors Field ever. And you had your one shot and
Dude, it was. I
you
was there.
tanked it. You tanked it. So
Yeah.
damn Birkenstocks. That's all I can say.
I've not worn Birkenstocks there
You
since,
should have
but
sold the lady like, hey, I can run in these really fast. I'm
yeah,
a
right.
PE teacher,
Oh, it all transpired non-verbally. She looked at
right.
me, I looked at her, she looked down, she kept going. Yeah, I was
Oh,
like, I knew I was toast.
daggers, just daggers.
Well, what about you, dude?
Ah, I don't have one that stands out like that, so I'm gonna have to pass because that just tops it all. That's just so good. I mean, the closest you and I have ever gotten to stand on the field is what, fan day, or they had the
Yeah, fan.
autograph day, but they make you walk
Mm-hmm.
on the dirt. It's like, remember I reached down, touched the grass, got in trouble.
Yep. Okay.
Because, we really wanted to check, is the grass good? How much
Yep.
squish is to it? What's it feel like? What's the texture of the grass at Coors Field?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they have that magical system underneath that keeps the grass warm, and waters it properly. I mean,
Yep.
to us baseball fans, that's very like, I don't know. That's up there. That's kind of like
It is
holy
because,
grail kind of stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
ooh,
dude, walk in.
like our favorite movie with Jimmy Fallon, and,
Fever
the
pitch.
fever pitch. He's like, so what'd the grass feel like that one scene? Like, I was
Oh,
out on the field. So what's the grass feel
by
like?
the way, his
Right.
apartment in that movie was totally insane. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Right.
Yeah, that was excellent. Yeah.
Just all those baseball references. It's like, whoa, what that dirt feel like? So anyway, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Now I think that one tops the list of, Father's Day stories right there. But, to all the fathers out there, yeah,
Happy belated.
yeah, happy belated. And, I mean, the sentiment is always great. If the kids are thinking of you on that day, that's all that counts. That's all
Totally.
that counts. So I just like reversing it around and, making sure that, you know, future generations have a good Father's Day too. So I got to get better on that. I handmade something for my son, but I didn't have the right mailer for it. I didn't want it to get damaged. And so,
Well, you're still learning, dude. You're getting
yeah,
what?
right. I know. But, no, that's cool, dude. Well, as far as future Father's Day, what would be like the dream Father's Day? Just before we close this podcast out, like to travel somewhere, see a game, and your kids take you, what? Or just what you had on Sunday. That's like the day. What do you think?
That's pretty good. Your kids, on their own said, let's go to a game. I wasn't even
Right.
planning on it. I didn't even know what to do. I was like, what? That was pretty nice.
Right.
That was pretty awesome.
I think for me would be for like my son, we'll see, maybe my daughter will have kids someday. Who knows? Um, but like we'd show up and have like a trip somewhere. I think that'd be cool, on Father's Day.
You're all together.
All
Yeah.
together, so it'd be 3 generations all together. So that'd be fun.
Well, see, I'm not thinking that. That would be good too. I don't have that situation yet.
Right.
So to me, I'm
Right.
still thinking, hey, the 2 kids are there.
Right. You never
Just doing
know.
this.
Right.
But no, that's a good one. I would like that too. Actually,
Right.
that's an excellent
And then I'd
one.
love my daughter and her boyfriend to show up, That'd be great. Just make it a whole family thing,
Totally.
Somewhere, could be at a ballpark, could be, I don't know. I'm just throwing out kids. Disney World,
Oh, yeah.
Florida. Just
Now, does
dip there.
everyone like, I know we're rabbit holing here, but man, it's really good if everyone loves the rides. My family, we all love the rides. My brother's family, my family, we all get into it. Would all your kids into it as far as you know?
It's
Get on
funny.
rides?
I think I've said this in previous podcasts. When we went to Florida, they always picked the beach over going to amusement parks. So
Hmm.
their amusement parks experience are, Disneyland in California. We went a few times,
Solid.
and then Six Flags there in Denver. And,
Well, not so solid, but go ahead.
right, but that's what I remember. That was kind of our world. Oh, and then we did go to Hershey's amusement park in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Mm.
Great, great. I didn't expect it to be that good. As in, you walk in, they handing you chocolate. I mean, at the front gate, you're like, okay, that's pretty good. There was a point where the kids were getting older and I started getting dizzy on rides, like anything that loops upside down. I could do old school roller coasters, that didn't go upside
Right.
down. I could do those all
Totally.
day, but yeah, I have a picture of the one at I don't know, California Adventure or whatever it's called, the other Disney park.
Yeah.
And you know how they take the picture of you coming through at
Oh
the end?
no. Yeah. Are you
And
all green?
I got the death grip going and I got a blood vessel in my forehead that I didn't even know I had sticking out. And there's Elliot throwing like hang loose signs going through the picture, not even holding on, smiling, laughing, So, yeah. So I think I'll hang with the grandkid and let whoever wants to do the sick roller coasters can go and do that. I could do other things, But yeah, I'm somewhere in between the teacups and roller coasters that go upside down. I don't want to do either one of those.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
everyone's there together. That'd be good.
yeah, even if it's Small World, whatever, we'll go do Small World together. But yeah, who knows? Looking at the prices of amusement parks these days, the beach sounds amazing. Just a day at the beach, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, well, maybe our Father's Day futures. Hope our kids are listening. Maybe that'll take shape. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know, man. Well, guess what, man? We are out of
What?
time. I know. Hey, that was great going down memory lane on Father's Day. So, hey, friends, thanks for joining us on this episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
And try to find us on YouTube. We have it's a cool way to put our podcast on, and it has all the captions and everything. We need a few more people to start watching it on YouTube. So thanks for joining us. See you next week.